Madam Chancellor, Mr. Vice-Chancellor, Pro-Chancellors, members of the University Council, distinguished faculty members, distinguished and esteemed guests, orator Professor Paringatai, proud graduate families and friends, and most importantly, the remarkable graduates of 2025. I greet you in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. My name is Ulumatotua Saulaulu Aiono. To all of you here in the Dunedin Town Hall, I ask you this. If I called you up here right now to confer a higher degree upon you, wouldn't you be surprised? Especially if you knew that such a higher degree was unusual. Well, I feel the same way. When I received the notification last year, I had to read it twice. An honorary Doctor of Commerce degree. It means that I must now live up to a higher level of wisdom and expertise. And fortunately, for all of us here, this higher level of wisdom is already telling me to hold back from dishing out unsolicited business advice. But looking out at you, the real graduates, who have poured years of work, late nights, determination into your degrees, I feel like I have snuck into their VIP section using someone's pass. So you did the work, but I get the fancy hat. Thank you to you graduates for this wonderful occasion and event, and thank you, University of Otago, for this extraordinary honour and recognition. I accept this honorary Doctor of Commerce degree, and I do so in humility and in recognition of the many who have gone before me. 3 weeks ago on Anzac Day, I was thinking of New Zealand's war veterans because, like my father-in-law, Mr. Govan Brown, who was a World War II returned serviceman, he fought in the Second Battle of El Alamein in 1942. His wife, Jessie Barbara Brown, had a grandfather who was an entrepreneur, like many of you here, and many of you who have graduated this afternoon. This Kiwi entrepreneur was named Joseph James Craig, and he was born in 1860. And he built a business empire of building materials, freight, general haulage and construction. Some of his company's 72 ships, I understand, were merged and acquired by something called the Union Steamship Company, which was owned by P&O Orient Lines. It was the biggest shipping line in the Southern Hemisphere. And one of its banana boats brought me, my brother, my baby sister and parents to New Zealand in 1960. 100 years after that entrepreneur was born. I was brought here on one of the banana boats, and 17 years later, when I met my wife Margaret, she turned out to be the great-granddaughter of that very man. Kiwi entrepreneur Joseph James Craig, born 117 years earlier. So I have this first observation. No amount of wisdom can beat 117 years of genetic engineering. Love is one of my favorite subjects. The other one is cause and effect. And whether we like it or not, you and I are affected by love and cause and effect. But first, I want to get my lineage out of the way. As I said, I'm the eldest of 5 kids. My mother was Mrs. Whaifuaina Semuntafa-Lorengi, and my father, Mr. Fatuaiono. I have a brother who passed away. His name was Punipuni Olo Mulinu'u, and my eldest sister also passed away, Vinepa Sulupawailei. I have 2 living sisters. One is sitting up there, and they are called Karasa Tiliola and Uluwai Pohomalo Fiatangata Iloa. It's a handful. Now, I was born in a hospital, like many of you, Matotua Hospital in Apia. And my parents brought me here, as you know and have heard, in 1960 for better schooling. I met my wife, Margaret, 17 years later, and she is here today with my son, Lorengi, his wife, Letisiola, my sister, Po, and my 4 granddaughters, Margie, Ellie, Avi, and Sia. I insisted that they be here so they could see what a transformation is going to happen this afternoon. That's the love part of my address done. You know, my journey did not start with a clear path onto the stage. Yes, I was born into a Christian family, and my mother had a very privileged background. She was a taupo, like a princess, and her father was the paramount chief of Apia. His name was Semuntafa-Lorengi. My father, unfortunately, came from a very poor part of the country. And so my mother's parents and my mother worked hard. Well, my mother's parents worked hard to make sure that my mother did not marry my father. But that's love. And when I was 6, they brought me here with my brother and sister. It was a big change. We lived on Green Lane Road, across the road from Alexandra Park Racecourse in Epsom. I instantly became an entrepreneur. My brother and I used to climb the gates of that racecourse on Sunday mornings, collect Coca-Cola and Fanta bottles discarded by the Saturday night gamblers. And then we would sell those bottles to a local dairy before going to church at Greenwood's Corner Methodist Church. Not exactly venture capital, but cash flow was great. And it was a start. I have a confession. University was never my plan after Auckland Grammar. I wanted to earn money, and my acronym for desirable careers was MEAL. That's medicine, engineering, architecture, and law. My classmates and I were in the top class at Auckland Grammar, and they all went to one of the meal ticket schools in the universities. But I wanted a job, and I got one. I made long-run roofing for Fletcher Brownbuilt in Penrose, and because the pay was average, I got myself a job as a taxi driver for co-op taxis. But 2 of my friends were murdered, and that was when I told my wife, there's no future in roofing, no future in taxi driving, it's time for university. And as you heard, I came down here because it is the farthest distance from my family and all its issues in Auckland. So my wife and I came down here for me to do a medical intermediate, but life offered other choices. During the 2-week break at the end of term 1, I was walking along Princess Street, and I saw inside an electronic shop window New Zealand's first programmable calculator. I borrowed it. 2 weeks later, my first share trading program was complete. And that is how I accidentally discovered a love for computing, and it changed everything. I switched from medical intermediate to computer science, and when I graduated in 1981, I became the first Pacific Islander with a computer science degree. Today, in 1984, I returned for MBA studies, and today we call that a pivot. But to me, it was just needing to know more and more know-how. I started Cogita properly as I was doing the MBA, and I devoured books on starting a business, and I learned that founders must make these things called sales. They must learn to talk to people, and they must have something to talk about. For me, that was the 1 + 1 = 3 connection between my Otago education and achievement. Otago taught me how to think and search for answers. What causes something? If we have a desired effect, how do we make the desired effect happen? My searches and reading led me to Dr. Eli Goldratt. He was an Israeli physicist, and he wrote a book called The Goal. It is a love story and metaphor for the theory of what he calls the theory of constraints, or the scientific method and critical thinking. I paraphrase his theory this way: cause and effect is the shortest distance between where we are today and what we dream of doing. That critical thinking with cause and effect has been fundamental in my adult life in software design, social housing, primary healthcare, artificial intelligence, and community issues. I am using critical thinking at the moment to commercialize Nobel Prize-winning research in medicine, and anyone can do that. The Otago MBA, as you've heard, gave people a legitimate reason to take me seriously. It opened business doors. It gave me the know-how and the confidence to talk to powerful strangers, including chief executives and board members. And with that influence, I helped my wife, Margaret, who's sitting up there, and her executives to grow our Cogita business over 29 years until we sold it in 2012. My motivation is simple. I want freedom. Is that what you want? New graduates? To do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, as often as you want, wherever you want, or not? Because you're not free unless you can stop. To me, that's freedom, and it includes contributing. And that is why I'm the chairman of Habitat's largest affiliate, building houses from Pocono up to Cape Reinga, and also the chairman of the Cause Collective. It's a Pacific social change organization that Tupuna Kokiri selected in March this year to establish a national whānau water intervention commissioning agency, and it will affect the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. Otago's MBA and the skills it caused me to develop have created a master key that helps me to lead the organizations that I'm associated with. So to you graduates, my first advice is simple. Don't get hung up on finding the perfect degree or career path. I learned through roofing and taxi driving and switching degrees that I didn't know exactly what I wanted. And you might find that's true too for you. My second advice is start something today. Do something. Doing something gives you the benefit of hindsight. And hindsight is 100% valuable, correct data. Thirdly and lastly, use lessons from what you do today to make better decisions tomorrow. Work out what your dream goal is, and then use that incredible, Otago-taught critical thinking to find the shortest distance to get there. For me and my wife, Margaret, the University of Otago changed our future, building foundations for everything that followed, affecting thousands through the work we've done. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Otago University. Congratulations, graduates. You have worked hard, endured much, and now you have the skills and the knowledge and the potential. Go out and start doing something. Use that Otago critical thinking, and remember to CAUSE, cause positive effects that improve your world and our world. God bless you, each one.